Hello, everybody. It looks like I'm late again. I do apologize again. I've been super busy. Blame it on the false eyelashes. I thought I would start at 6:30 because that's how long it takes me. It does make a difference, doesn't it? I don't know why I don't have. Okay, I think that's a little better light. So, welcome. I'm Sabrina, the shamanic witch. I practice earth based religion, and today happens to be Lammas. It is a cross quarter for those of us that seek to connect to the seasons, and it is a time where we celebrate the beginning of harvest. I've already been harvesting parsley, basil, and cherry tomatoes. I did get one green pepper off of my plant so far, and I'm hoping that, well, it looks like I've got about 12 more flowers that are blooming. And so I could have a very big harvest that I have to figure out what in the world to do with all of those green peppers, which is a nice problem to have. When I had 2 children, we were a family of 4. That would barely be enough to feed us for soup and salads for a week, I think. 12 or 16 green peppers. Probably, yeah. I'd say 2 weeks, and there she is. Yes, I want to be here too. Yeah, Jade. Welcome to the live with Jade and Sabrina. She used to do this when she was a kitten, if you were following me back then. Just a little kitten. I was given a video on how to make black salt. That's one of my highest viewed videos. I had a couple of other ones. One was about goddesses. What was it? Lakshmi and I believe Oshun together on the same space. And then I can't remember. But yeah, that was nice to see. And there's still a lot of atrocities, obviously, being done to women and children, even in a country where they revere women and celebrate the goddess. Hello, welcome. I was apologizing. I thought I was on time. Blame it on the false eyelashes. It takes me a while to get them on, but I think it makes a difference, don't you? If you think so, give me a thumbs up. And let's see why I don't have anything happening here in the chat. There we go. I'm going to chat welcome. Let's see. Nope. Put the cursor in the space. I do have a background in word processing, believe it or not. Okay, and then I had to unplug this and tape this device on here. Get that out of the way. So yeah, happy Lammas. This is a cross quarter between summer and fall. We celebrate the beginning of a harvest, and I've already been harvesting my parsley, my basil, and my cherry tomatoes. I'm very happy because I discovered last summer that when I was juicing parsley 3 times a week, I was able to detox excess water and possibly fat, I guess. I don't know. I was exercising slowly 3 times a week, and I lost 9 pounds, 3 pounds each month. So I know that that's a very good thing to juice and add to, like celery, carrot, a little green apple. Yeah. So this is about prosperity. If you saw my community post, in looking to reap a harvest, we can apply this to other areas of our life in modern times. A lot of people now are feeling the crunch. I've said that I feel we're in a recession. I think it's finally just been admitted as if, they couldn't ignore it any longer. And people have commented or asked questions about money spells a few weeks ago. There's just a variety of money spells that I have done over the years. I really rely upon your questions and your input here, especially since I'm still trying to grow this live uh, segment every Wednesday. I don't have as many people coming as I did 4 weeks ago. So, my pink shirt's in the dryer, and I apologize. I had to put on this other lacy shirt underneath here, and the strap is showing. So I wish I could tilt this some more. I don't know. But anyway, here's my Astarte necklace. Okay. So you would probably have to ask me, but I made a community post and I showed a picture of an altar. This is very similar to what I worked with for quite a few years. I'd say 7 to 9, maybe almost 10 years. And it would move from place to place depending on where I lived. When I was a single mom and I had moved on from my marriage, I had a sofa table behind the sofa in the living room, and I was sleeping on the sofa bed. So on the sofa table, I had my small round dish where I would put my candle, my seashell holder was supposed to be an ashtray, I think. And in there, I would put a piece of charcoal, and on that, I put a dime, and then my incense. I burned some money incense on the dime on the charcoal, and there is why I concentrated my intent on remaining prosperous and not just being able to get by all the time. There was a period of 4 years, though, where I had to just put my nose to the grindstone. But at that last point, that at that 4th year mark, I had been focusing on an amount of money. Now, sometimes you want to focus on the thing that you would get, such as a home or a car. This would represent the value. You may not always know exactly what amount of money that you really need to work on or attract, but there's just an incredible amount of ways that you can work. I do recommend one specific space, even if you move and you have to work behind your sofa on a sofa table. And I did have my pentagram hanging up on the wall there for a decoration in the living room. So the altar I have over here has got a representation of the horned god, and the chalice is the goddess. And then I have a white candle and a red candle. So those can also represent the goddess in candle form, and they get lit. So they serve as luminaries, and they serve as connecting to both aspects that are within us, the male, the female. And of course, those two things combined create life. And then whatever else you want to put on there, I've got things that represent the directions, and then a candle. Now, a candle burning every single day is what I did, a tea light candle. So I could connect to my altar. I found out that that's recommended because it serves as a battery to charge your space. Charging your space is going to make your workings a little bit easier. You're just going to be building up an energy there. It's going to assist you. I've had some pretty interesting paranormal things happen at my altar. So that's one of the most important things we say. The altar is the heart. It's a place for you to trigger yourself to get into that mindset, but also connect you to the spirit realm and create a portal. So you might also want to have something that represents a spirit guide, on there to protect you. Okay. Um, but if you've already studied and you know all of these preliminary things, then you know that you're going to meditate and get yourself into a relaxed state of mind and then do whatever it is. I currently have a piece of paper over there with I printed it out from a dealership. It says Toyota Camry LE, and there's the price and also the things that I would have to pay to my insurance company because I called to ask them how much it would be. So I've got all that information. And so when I go to get this younger model Toyota Camry LE, then yeah, and things sometimes are a process of rebuilding, especially if you've fallen back like I have since the pandemic. There are some things that are going to have to be cleared away and rebuilt, and this takes time. So sometimes you really have to understand the process and be patient. Change is a process, not an event. When things do suddenly align all in the right place, then you'll be able to get whatever it is, the new house or the new car. And I just watched a practitioner make a video about key magic, and I think I talked about this particular working I did with my children. We needed another car, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but I had added a key to the working. So you can add all kinds of things. I charged the key and I put it on my keychain as though I had the key to our new little car already. And it manifested within a couple of months, just exactly the way we drew it. And yeah. So there's just all kinds of ways that you can work to get the item that you need. It represents the value. And that's sometimes the best way because, when you get that money, you might have to use it to go buy that car or that house or that condo anyway with that money. So you can get a representation of that item. But a prosperity altar is something you can keep separate from your other altar if you're able to have two. It doesn't have to be a large space. And it doesn't have to be kept out permanently. Mine served as a combination. But there are times when we need to separate it in order to focus solely on whatever it is that we really need to acquire. If we really need to get a younger model car, we need to really get out of our renting situation and purchase some kind of a home. And we understand the responsibilities of all of that. Because there's got to, there's other expenses involved in that. And you certainly don't want to get in a position where you're going to be losing the home or whatever else it is. If you want to take a vacation, if you want to buy a travel club or just travel every summer instead of being home all the time. And sometimes we need to have enough to join the gym and pay for that every month and start working on our health. Okay. So that's where I am currently. And it's taken me over a year and it's been a process because I fell back. I had an injury and then I got here and I wasn't climbing stairs anymore in addition to going to work. And so I wasn't just maintaining any kind of weight loss, I was gaining. And so in addition to exercise I get at work, I have to make sure I'm getting it in other ways that is actually more of a relaxed state of mind and not, I'm kind of in a stress state of mind when I'm at work. I have to hurry to get from A to B, whether I'm walking or I'm climbing stairs. And that's more of a stressful state. But I'm not like that when I'm at the gym. I'm in the zone. So how's everybody tonight? who is here. If you could say hello, that would be great. I would love for you to comment, ask a question. Do you know what Lammas is? Do you not practice that particular type of a thing? Do you just meditate? What type of meditation have you been led to study and practice? Are you subscribed? Did you see my community post? Let's see if I can raise this a little higher back here. I got a rock back there. Okay, that's not really making a difference. I'll just scoot back. Okay, now you can see my Lammas. So, along with the intention and the items, you have a petition. You have herbs or spices, candles, candle colors, oils you can put in an oil warmer and anoint your candle with. All of those things add to activate your senses and get you much more involved in the process. I've also, after about a week or two, taken one or two of the items off my altar that have been charged because they've been sitting there, and I've been burning a candle every single day. Or I've been burning a taper candle for a few minutes. And I put them in my pocket. And that way, when I'm away from home, I not only have, in essence, my altar with me, but when I touch my pocket, I remember my intention. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Because work can take you to another world, and you've got to reconnect to your goals several times a day. And that can include chanting on your way to work, on your way back home, whatever kind of chanting that you choose. And you can chant in Sanskrit. I know there's a lot of confusion about being from a certain area and not practicing whatever their particular spirituality is. Not understanding why I'm attracted to East Indian gods and goddesses, and connected to Ganesha now for several years, and how chanting to him has helped me. I don't look like I'm from India. And when I went to temple, they said, "Do you want to go to Sunday school?" And I wanted to say, no, I'm here to ask about things manifesting when you chant to Ganesha, right? They look at you as you're white, what are you doing here? What are you talking about? But I didn't really have that when I was younger. It was definitely not at all told to us that we could not learn how to chant a mantra for transcendental meditation. But what your soul group is something so deep and so profound. It goes above and beyond your skin color and what you were born into, what country or what race. And that's the truth. That is the strange truth. So in the beginning, you're probably choosing a pantheon like I did. And I went through different pantheons, and I have several binders full of information, and I called on quite a few. And those help you connect, because I was attracted to Bast and Sekhmet and Hathor. Turns out they're all related to a personality traits and attributes I have according to my birth date number, which is a 1. And then Bast came into my life and was with me for 12 years. But I was, starting to work with other deities beyond that from another pantheon. So it is not wrong to work with different pantheons. And someone had asked me one day, why do you have Oshun on the table with Lakshmi? Well, they're both goddesses. Oshun came to me also in a dream, and Lakshmi is an East Indian goddess. I could have had Ganesh on there, and they still would have gone, huh? It's not easy to understand. I'm not making it up, but these are things that I have seen in dreams. And when you go, I'm not making this up. There's a guy who actually wrote a book about your birth number and your life path number and the deities that connect to that. It would be your soul group. Doesn't matter what you look like. It's true. So, yeah, amazing things can happen when you've aligned yourself with a deity that aligns with you. It's a lot easier to make things manifest. So that's another thing you could add in the working of adding layers to your prosperity working. One man asked his spiritual father, I think, for some money. And I think within a matter of hours, he went to a place and there was money on the street. And he kind of felt a voice say to him, hey, go get it. So he was led to that area where someone had dropped their wallet or whatever, I don't know. But there was like $50 at least. So we live in a very interesting, mysterious universe. I would like to be guided by questions. What type of prosperity have you worked on? And what type of prosperity meditations or spells and do you work at an altar? Which ones have worked better than others? I like to be led by questions. That's what this live is for. I could sit and record a video, which is what I basically have been doing for 6 years. This is for interaction. That's why I've created the lives. Please spread the word. Let people know. I'm an occultist. I'm a medium. I'm basically those two things. And I have lots and lots of experiences to share. So yeah, adding a key to your working, it's a symbol. Symbols are the language of the subconscious mind, and that's what you're working with when you're going through yourself to get, out into the ether and project your wish or your need. And you can even add a star to that if you know what stars are in your natal chart, which I just found out something today. Kind of blew my mind, but it was just an affirmation. It was really an affirmation. If you've been following me, you know I have this talisman I made 3 years ago now to get me back to middle class. And I needed my home to sell or I was going to be homeless. So I had decided that I was going to work with Taurus, the moon, and Aldebaran. Now, some people say Aldebaran is a very aggressive star. It's red. But basically, if you really study it and listen to enough information, Aldebaran is, well, it's the eye of the bull, but it's in Pleiades. The Pleiades cluster is really right there. I think it kind of overlaps. And these are very helpful healing spirits attached to that constellation or those cluster the cluster of stars. And so, even though I was mistaken when I was led to think that I had Taurus at my 11th house, I think it was, looking at Western astrology or going back, and I didn't do something right, or was looking at my old natal chart, and I thought, okay, that's the house of hopes and wishes and friends and networking. So I'm going to wish upon a star. And I followed the instructions from the videos I had been watching, and I took my atame, and under the sign of Taurus, I think on a Monday, I carved the moon, symbol of Taurus, and the symbol of Aldebaran. And my house sold at the end of May. And I had like 5 days to clean it, clear up little odds and ends, get a U-Haul truck, and then go find another place to live. I had a little bit of money, and I set it aside to save it. Now, I put myself in a studio apartment thinking that I was going to save and go put a down payment on a twin home or something. But the pandemic hit. So I lost my job. I was able to actually live off of that money. And I was singing sour grapes for several years about the fact, ow, that I had to do that. But you know what? That was good because many people have to pay back whatever money they've received from the $600 a week program. And other people I worked with said they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to have to end up paying the money back. So as I'm working to still, straighten out things and get things paid off that I owe, I'm working to rebuild my credit. But the thing is, after 1 year, which was my goal, this thing started poking me. And I've talked about this before. This thing started poking me. And I go, oh, what is that? They're alive and they turn you into a secondary talisman. When you connect to them, they connect to you. And I decided I was just going to get up and get the heck out of my horrible situation at that apartment over there and just go start looking at apartments. Immediately when I came over here, my friend said, I'm going to go. And she said, what's this place? Now, I think the moon had given me a dream. I think the moon had gone into Taurus or Cancer and gave me a dream about this place. And so when I came in to tour it, I thought, oh, this is interesting. And I went back to my apartment and I thought, okay, I've already seen the one across the street the day before. I brought my friend to look at it, and she showed me, hey, what's this? And I came over here and took a tour and went, that one, it had like the house. I saw like a row of houses and like a patio with a chaise lounge and a grocery store next door attached. Well, there's a convenience store gas station just a block down the road. And so I thought, I think that's it. And to me, this is more like middle class. Technically, you'd have to have that income to live here. But because I'd already been with the company, they said, oh, well, you're already with us for a year and you've been paying faithfully every month. All we have to do is transfer your file and you can move in. And so I also asked for like a referral fee. And because it was the pandemic still going on, they needed to rent apartments. They said, yeah. So I only had to pay like a $50 processing fee and then the first month's rent. And normally I would just, keep going to different apartment complexes that might not have been the same company. And even though they had told me you can move to another complex with a garage or an elevator, they wouldn't tell me what it meant to establish credit. But I knew that I wanted amenities, and I knew that I wanted a nice place. Now this one is younger than the building that I had been in, and well, it's now about 11 years old, I've been told. Going on 12, I think. And you know, if you've been following me, I've had a water leak issue. But I've had several issues here, and another one was a water leak issue from the air conditioner. And maintenance comes pretty quick, like the next day. Now, with this situation, for some reason, he forgot to come back, and I kept noticing the water on the carpet. So I told him, I think I'm going to have a mold issue now. And he came right away. And sure enough, they cut a hole in the wall. He had the vendor come like the next day. They came in here, went inside behind the dryer. It was the faucet outside that was leaking inside when they turned it on to get water to water the plants over here. And oh boy, was it wet over here by the dining area. If I had been going over there to sit and do paperwork more regularly, I would have noticed it before. But I didn't. I saw diamonds smelling over there, and I had towels on the floor in the hallway. But at just this particular moment, not long after they had turned on the faucet, I went, whoa, it's really wet over here. It was sopping wet when he went out and then turned on the faucet. So I do have a mold issue, but because I've been on this path for so many years, I've learned about essential oils. So I took some essential oils and a cotton ball and I threw it down in there and I wiped some of it on the walls that were moldy just before he knocked on the door to come back and cover up that hole. So the antimicrobial properties of the essential oils will get in there. All he did was spray Clorox, mold and mildew. I don't think that's enough. I can still see mold at the baseboard. But when I walk by now, I am not getting watery eyes, a sore throat, and sneezing. I mean, really, it's a good thing I've been going to the gym for my immune system. Well, I guess I'm not promoting my lives well enough. I wanted to really talk to people about prosperity and prosperity spells and prosperity magic, working with deities, pantheons, or maybe even a spirit. But for whatever is going on right now, I don't know. I guess I'll wait a few more minutes. And I know I had a couple of people that wanted to come to my live on my birthday, and I said it was canceled, and they were bummed, and then I said it was back on. And I did have one or two people show up that night. It is a commitment that I am making, and I try my best to be refreshed and really look presentable, like I said, before I get on here. But, you know, I'm getting ready to go back to work. I'll be having my orientation soon. And I probably will not be able to have the Wednesday night lives every single week out of the month. This is not how I am really working to get my bread and butter. And it's going to take a while for me to really grow my subscriber base, even though live streams can help. So I'm really depending upon you to show your appreciation and tell people so that they can come on and ask questions. And maybe even, you know, really seek some guidance with things that are happening to them. And also to support this channel with my PayPal me /casting cauldron. And it's in my link in the description. I also have an ebook on Amazon with a set of scripts that will help you achieve a goal. And there is one or two about money. There's a lot of wisdom in that little book. It's maybe 20, 25 pages, but I think there's about 7 or 8 short scripts that you can read and speak to yourself to help you really achieve a goal. Those are spells. And it's $9.99. It's on Kindle, Amazon Kindle, A Little Book of Affirmations. And then I did have some artwork that I was copyright free that I chose to be put on certain items for Halloween, for decorations and for the kitchen on Zazzle.com. And I believe I put the link for that as well. I need to go back and update information on those accounts as well. You know, that's a lot for me to try to be marketing. So I just put the links on there. They show up every time I do a live. So I'm counting on you to help me spread the word, you know, and let people know that if you're looking for information on gaining prosperity, this is really recession-proof recession-proof workings. You cannot let what's going on affect you. One man started ranting about it on one of the magical forums that I am a part of. I'm a member of this magical forum on Facebook. And he brought in this political question, you know, the foot in the door technique. I hope it's okay, but I'm wondering what everybody thinks. And then he got in a full-blown hostile argument back and forth about the guy who answered his question in a different way than he wanted. I reported him for being a bully. I'm pretty sure the admin's not going to put up with that anyway. Doesn't have anything to do with the page, the forum, and the group. But I'll be getting back to work, and even with me getting stronger and my sinus infection has finally gone away, which I literally had it all year long, except, you know, it would come and go for maybe a week. It was my immune system. I'm still probably going to be too tired to do the Wednesdays every single week once I return to work. But you focus on your needs and take it to your sacred space and write your intention on a piece of paper. That's your petition. Call to a deity, call to a spirit guide, call to whatever other entity. You could even call to an ancestor. They're not limited by the body. And this is why I've been led to work with spirits. They can really help. But you can work with a deity, you can work with a god or a goddess, and focus on it every day. And after lighting a candle at that space every day for a week or two, take one of those items and carry it with you. So you strengthen your connection, you're reinforcing your connection to that goal. And this is what I have done several times in my life when my back was against the wall. And other times I work to maintain. And so I'm currently working. I've got my altar over there on maintaining steady income, growing, saving while I'm paying off some debts, you know. And, you know, it's been a complicated situation. It's going to probably take another year or two for me to finally get out of it, regain my credit, get a better car, and go somewhere where rent doesn't go up every year. I'm putting money into something that's mine. And I'm also offering natal charts. I just pulled a chart up for a viewer who has shown me consideration by making a donation to this channel because I had done videos on banishing bad luck, burning a black candle every Saturday, and she decided she'd had enough of all the things that were affecting her and that she wasn't going to suffer all of these things any longer. And so that was the first step, and she lit that candle, and as she continued to do that, and I don't know what else, she said things began to get lighter, and she began to feel freer, and yeah. And so she sent me a monetary consideration at my PayPal me /casting cauldron. She's the only one who's ever done that. She just took my information and applied it. So, yeah, don't be a victim, be victorious, use your will and all these other accessories that can support you. Focus on that. No matter what's going on in the world, don't listen to people who are acting like victims, who are mad and helpless and never satisfied with someone's answer, and they're picking fights. They are not at all belonging on a magical forum where people are practicing magic to better their lives. That's why we do it. All right. If you watch this live after the fact, I hope that you can engage and make some type of a comment like hello. I posted on my community and no one has answered my polls recently. I don't know what's going on, but there you have it. My information on how you can stay focused, recession proof yourself, and reap a harvest. Blessed be. Take care. Namaste. Bonjour. And I hope to see you next week. I will let you know if I'm going to come on or not. Toodles.